All right, let's get to this. This is going to be a trade recap for 3rd of February 2021. So this was an interesting day because this was a day that I had a lot on. So I did a lot of coaching. I did like a 4.5 hour stream. So it was a bit of a different day. I didn't have my usual setup where I get to the charts at 6 o'clock because I was in coaching calls at that time. But I'm going to run through. There was the trade I took with one of my clients, Euro USD. That one, I called it. I didn't take it on my account, so I'm just going to put it on here, just go through my thought process. Trades I did take were in later on the New York Open in a stream I did with Pound USD, and then I took one later in the New York Stock Exchange Open, about 3 o'clock my time-ish, 3 p.m. UK time, for 20 bounce. So I'm going to run through these trades. So let's just get to it. I'll start with Euro USD, the one I took with my client, and I'll run through what I was looking at. So when we came to the charts, this was the, let me just full screen this. Okay, so this was the current day. So this one hadn't completed yet. So we're judging all our bias based off this guy down here. So if we're going to put our lines in, okay, we had a support, and then this day had closed below it. Then we had another bearish bar sort of reacting off that resistance, and I was anticipating price to continue down. So that's a support, now resistance, closest level of support. Now there's not a whole lot, you've got a clean candle to the left, which I quite like. If I was going to put on, so on the daily, there's not a lot being seen. Okay, so potentially this level, maybe there's a rejection wick around here that could cause a bit of a problem. So let's line that up. You can sort of see that's where price did come down to today and tested. Anyhow, so we're basing our daily off here. Let's go to the 4-hour chart. Okay, so it was in the the UK Open, so that was this candle. So all the history that we really had was, let's just make this bigger. So, okay, so we could only really see this. So what I quite like about this, and I find quite interesting, is we had a low formed, then price was bullish for the end of the previous day. So this is the lower wick of the previous day. Then we've got like a little inside candle. EMAs are down. So I'm sort of judging this like this is like a 180 phase changer, except for that this candle never broke the low, so it didn't make a ring high. But I don't mind this. I don't mind it when it's like a bullish bar. Okay, so let's just go and, I don't want to do that. Okay, let's go get rid of these arrows. Okay, so we've got like bullish bar, and I don't mind when we get a little inside bar like this. If I see this, then I would treat this as a very bearish signal, because what it's causing, it's actually triggering, it's creating a resistance up here. So if we do get candles that close below or start breaking the lows of this 4-hour candle, then we're going to go downtown. So that's what I'm looking at. That's what I had in the back of my mind, that we're at resistance, 4-hour candles coming up, bullish, then we've got a little inside candle, resistance formed. If we can start breaking the lows of this 4-hour candle, we'll come down and retest these lows. So that's how I looked at my high time frame. Daily was down. The 4-hour EMAs were down. We had like separation between the yellow and the blue. Price had made a retracement. EMA still angled in the direction of the intended trade. If we break these lows, it's downtown, at least to this level of support. So I'm going to go over to the 15-minute now, and this is where price was when I got to the charts. Okay, so this was, you can see down the bottom, so this candle here, 80800, this is 6 o'clock. So my coaching session, my client started at 5 in the morning. So we sort of just planned our trade. We're having to look at some things. This is sort of like a perfect trade based on my pip runner tutorial that I put out. In addition to the 8 EMA being down on the 4-hour chart. The slow EMA, this is 100 EMA on the 15 minute, sort of aligned, basically the same as that 8 EMA, but we can see that we're making a downward momentum. Price came up, came down, and then we're getting these lower fractal highs. So I'll just put a little line. We're getting lower fractal highs, higher fractal lows. So we're sort of coming to this like squeeze. So it's kind of like fractal divergence. Fractals making higher lows, EMA's going down. So I'm just going to take a trade in the same direction as my higher time frame, and that's the down. That's looking for shorts. Okay, so skip forward. 6 o'clock. Pretty early. This is like right on the UK Open, so it's fine. Like as long as it's within 6:30, plus minus 30 minutes of the UK Open, I'm okay with it. Price sort of came down. This is a classic continuation pattern. You see this all the time. If I see this, this is just adds strength to my selling bias. Price never really came back up. It sort of wicked down. It wicked down. Didn't quite take profit at that stage, but I'm putting my support in. The structure. The structure's down. I'm not really, as long as it doesn't start breaking this high. If it starts breaking these highs, then I'll really start to reconsider. But as long as you don't close below, don't close above, then I'm fine with it. Price comes down, takes the take profit. Happy days. That was a winning trade. That she was very happy. I was happy that should have been in it, but I wasn't. I wanted to stay focused on her. Price pulled up. Okay, made high, came down, kept on making lows, and then it just continuation. This was like a phase 1, phase 2, phase 1. So it trended nicely. Then what happened? So price did continue, and I'll just go to the other one, the 20 bounce. Okay, so price continued. Then the New York session came in. If I go back to the 4-hour chart, you can see that we had continued. That 4-hour chart had continued bearish. It didn't close below though, so I had to wait. I had to wait because I knew I was at that support, and I wanted to see a 4-hour candle close below, make a lower low, make a lower high. And then I was going, because it was a bit of a different day, I was just sort of focusing on a bit of the strategies. I did take a manual trade, which I'll go through after this one. But once I had this lower highs, pullback, then we had price come down, rejected support, then we had a 4-hour candle closing below support. The 4-hour candles are getting a little bit smaller, so I did have to keep that in mind. But I thought that if we can get a 20 bounce entry, which is like a bounce off the 20 EMA on a 30-minute chart, then that should be a good enough trade to get like a quick 20 pips. So I'll jump over to the 30-minute chart, and I'll bring up this. So this was at that stage, you can see that this was sort of like the low of that 4-hour candle. And then I'm going to take only the first entry, the first pullback after a 4-hour candle. As long as my trend is down, I want to take that entry. So I'll take it often after a phase changer, but in this case, I took it after a second continuation 4-hour candle for those reasons I explained above. This is my support. Price pulled back. I'll change this color. Okay, so first entry, I jagged it. I actually saw it when it was breaking up a little bit higher, so I didn't enter at the blue dot. It was a few more pips higher, and I took an entry to go short at that level. Blue dot, so the green dot, the take profit was down here, hoping that price is going this was going to create this sort of like little triangle. But it wicked down, took my entry. Took my take profit, and that was it's all good. So stop loss is way up here. It's a bit of an inverse risk reward strategy, but it's more high probability. So you can really only do these high probability strategies that have you can only take these inverse risk reward strategies if it's really, really profitable or really, really high probability that's going to work out. And in this case, I'm happy to take a 20 pip profit, risking a bit more, because if it started to break in these highs, I would have done something about my trade. I wouldn't have let it get to my stop loss in the full position. So I was happy to do this. It was sort of the end of the session. You can see it was sort of that New York Stock Exchange open, and I was anticipating just one more push and then hopefully continuation, but it sort of didn't. It just sort of just died there. Anyway, so that was a winning trade. 1% risk, made 0.5% gain. Now, let's go to my pound US trade. So this was actually a loss. This was just this is bad on my behalf. So just I was just busy. It was just a busy day. I was at the computer for a long time. So I'll just explain my thought processes. So I'm going to show you where there was another entry as well that I missed. That was just like, really clear. I just don't know why I didn't see it until now, but this is what the point of this going back and reviewing our charts every single day is all about. So, okay, we'll go to, I'll start my daily just to show. So this is how the yesterday sort of closed. So we can't keep that. We need to ignore what happened there. I should just get rid of this that box. There we go. Okay. So looking at these charts, let's make this bigger. Okay. Resistance. Then I had, that little support area. Okay. I should just get rid of this as well. I'll just do everything completely. Come to the charts, fresh analysis, fresh ideas, that kind of mindset. Okay. So we ranged for quite a while. Then we had a daily candle closing below. This is my opposing level of support. I did have a daily candle that closed bullish, weak bullish, high wicks, but we did have a lot of news out. We just got a heck of a lot of news this week on pound in general. Today we've got PMI for pound. US has a bunch of crap, heaps, ADP employment. So this is got to be careful. It's a really news heavy day. Tomorrow we've got bank rates. Or today, if by the time this is posted, Bank of England bank rates. So this is just huge news. Then the next day we've got non-farm payrolls, first Friday of the month. Always basically a no trade month, no trade day for me. Anywho, so I was in the stream. I was with my clients, and we're just sort of working through this. Kept in mind that this is a daily weak bullish candle. A lot of wicks. Let's go to the 4-hour chart. Now this is the sort of same movement that was seen on the euro US dollar. So we've got a resistance formed. Okay, resistance formed here. We've got a first level of support here, but a big rejection wick. Now, this is, I didn't see this at the start. I didn't see that this would have been a really nice sell confirmation to be looking for continuation down. Okay, so what I'll be looking for is price to come back up in the UK Open, create a sell pattern that I recognize on the lower time frame to continue taking this down, because my 4-hour closed bearish, closed lower than the opening price of the previous candle. So all we want to do is see like a nice wick on the 4-hour chart, and then price to continue bearish. And that's what I should have been envisioning that, but I was just distracted. But no excuse. I'll have to learn from that. Anyway, so 4-hour, I was just bearish. Let's go to the 1-hour chart. 1-hour chart. So this is the Tokyo Open. Create a resistance. Now that we've been drifting down, coming into the UK Open. This is where the 4-hour candle closed. Now, let's just skip forward. Okay, so we've got a push down. Okay, this is coming into UK Open. Okay, this is 6 o'clock till 7 o'clock UK Open. Now, if you can get a pullback, this is just a classic pattern that I used to trade this. This used to be my primary trading focus, was like a head and shoulders, or if you want to be like a divergence kind of thing. So you'd be looking for a sell entry up here. If we put our fibs on, so anywhere in this like little golden zone, looking for a sell pattern that we recognize, that would be Gucci. That would be just really nice. I don't want to do this, Phil. So that would be like an area I'd be looking at. Okay, let's go to the 30-minute chart. That's like my time frame I like to be on. Okay, so coming into 7 o'clock is going to be the UK Open. Okay, so I didn't take my trade until the New York Open, so we've got a bit of time to kill. Price rallies up big time. Okay, 8 o'clock, 7:30 at 8 o'clock candle. It's usually 7:30 at 8 o'clock candle, which is a big candle on the UK Open. This is 30 pips. Comes right into that golden zone, that little area. Now, this is a trade I missed. Just wait for resistance to form. Okay, it hasn't formed yet. Okay, now this is resistance formed. So I just didn't see it because I was just focusing on the 15-minute on the 30-minute chart. If I go to the 15-minute chart, as soon as this would be your confirmation. This would be your confirmation. This is resistance formed. Stop loss would be go above here, and then entry would be at the candle close. Your stop loss could even be above these guys. I mean, I know this hindsight perfect trade, but this is a high probability trade to go back down and retest these lows. But I missed it, so be it. Move forward. Price comes right down. Just would have been a great trade, but let's go forward. So let's say that this is support formed. This is your resistance that's been formed. Let's get rid of these fibs. Let's zoom out. Let's get rid of this area. You can see now that support makes a lot of sense. You've got support, 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 rejection, closing a little bit higher, and then we've got this really wicky candle. Okay, so where else would be my levels? If we can break underneath the support, which seems to be holding, my next level. Okay, so we've got support over here. Okay, so support over here. So actually, support here. Just need to make this. There's my grey. Okay. Dipped into it. Really waiting for price to close below this. If it closes below this, then my targets would be, there's a little level there, and then there's a significant level down here. So let's just play it for a little bit. Let's just go 30 minutes. Okay, now we've dipped down, and I was thinking if I wanted to take a sell here. I wanted to take a sell here with maybe like the next candle to retrace a little bit and take a wick entry to go down, but it closed with no bottom wick, so it made me hold off. And I was actually watching this, and it really, just because it closed with no wick, it sort of annoyed me. I saw the same movement on pound JPY at the same time, so I held off. Would have been a nice entry. No, I did put an entry, actually. I did put an entry for this, but I had it here. To go down, and it came back up, and it missed my entry by a couple of pips. So I would have just taken it. I would have taken first. I would have been securing profits and managing it around this level, and then been leaving a runner. Because it missed my entry, I just had to leave it. Price continued. Then it had gone too far. It rejected that level that I identified, and then now what had happened is we're in the 15 minutes. I've got to go to 30. Okay. So now when it was getting to the end, like 10:30 UK time, now there's this little gap in price, between UK Open and the New York Open. And I noticed that price usually does range. I've said that the other day. I sort of just see it just go side by side. So I didn't really want to enter now, thinking that if I was entering again, price could come up, and I just didn't want to be holding drawdown. So I was going to wait for another confirmation. At this stage, once you had these 3 candles, I'll just go one more candle forward. And what it's doing is it's creating the support. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to adjust this line down to here. Okay. Now, if we can get a candle closing below this level, I know that this level is here, but if we can get a candle closing below in the New York time, then I think we can get continuation down to our next level of support. This is the previous candle daily lows. If we break these candle daily lows, we can be going down for quite some time, and my runner could do a lot of damage. Let the runner do a lot of heavy lifting. Let's go forward another 30 minutes. That was my confirmation. That was my confirmation. Closed no bottom wick again. And I was just getting a little bit frustrated this time, thinking that, okay, well, this one worked out. Oh, sorry, this one here closed no bottom wick, and that one worked out. This one up here closed no bottom wick, that one worked out. This one here closed no bottom wick, and it never still came back and broke the lows. So this time I was like, well, normally I don't want to trade no bottom wick, but this time I'm going to be more comfortable to taking it. So I put in a, oh gosh, okay, so I put in an entry here, and we all did. There was about 16, 15, 14, 16 in the group. So not many, but I'm just starting, so we're growing. Okay, so next candle, actually, I must have had it a little bit lower. I'm going to do 15 minute because I was watching on the 15 minute, and this is where the mistake happened. Where I had my entry was super close. Okay, so when I took it, I actually didn't think I was in it. I didn't think I was in it. I saw it, and normally you've got like sell entry, and then normally it changes to sell once it takes my trade. Because if I put in the limit order, it'll be sell entry, and then once it executes, it'll be my sell. So I saw it just had sell entry still, and I was just like, oh, okay, I've just missed it, So because I came back up, and it was just so close that I just left it. So yeah, I wasn't really playing. Then I saw like everyone else sort of got it. Then with spread, once it got down to here, it was I would have been up 1-to-1. I know some other guys got in a little bit lower down here, and then they were around up 0.7%, 0.75%. I would have been up 1%. I would have been securing profits. But then it was when it's got down here and we sort of rejected, we're talking about how to secure profits. And then it was only when they asked and they said, how can I close partial positions, that I went and clicked on my trade and said, if I was in this trade, I would have clicked this little bin over here on the left-hand side, on the other charting platform that I took the trade on. And then I realized my dollar figures were going up and down. And that's when I realized I was in the trade. I caught it by the hair. I caught it by its hair, and then it dropped. Price came back. Now I didn't really want to secure position here because I should at this stage I just thought I'm just going to manage my trade. I'm just going to leave it and see if it keeps on pushing down. So I moved my stop down to just above. What was it? So I moved it to about 2 pips higher around this resistance. And so it was 2 pips out of, what was I risking? I was risking 16 pips. So 2 pips, not much. And then the next candle came up, and then it just took me out. So lesson learned, I was distracted. I was just trying to watch this, and I just didn't think I was actually in the trade. So I took a small loss when it should have definitely been a win. Should have been a win. Probably had my stop loss too tight as well. What I should have done is because it was up 1-to-1, I just didn't want to really take any drawdown. But what I could have done, other ways I could have, is been wait for a 15-minute candle to close. Not necessarily bullish, but if it closed back up near my entry, then take in 50% off. Because the fact that it wicked up, and it wicked basically took me out to the pip and then closed back lower. So at this stage, I was thinking, okay, well, we might be making continuation to keep on going lower. So I could have survived this trade. But obviously, at this stage, it's created a new support. Candle bodies are getting smaller, start printing side by side. So we're starting to range. This stage, ADP was coming out for US. And then by that stage, you shouldn't be in the trade anyway. But so missed opportunity, poor trade management in this case. And then the rest is history. So that's it. That's the trade recap for today. 3 trades. Euro USD called that, but didn't take it. So couldn't bank any profits on that one. Pound US lost minus 0.1%. Euro USD risk 1% to make 0.5%. So overall, not too bad. And I'll just leave it at that. So thank you, and I'll see you soon.